Hi, what's up, Fast Track Property friends? I've always loved using Samsung devices. In fact, I was a Samsung Note user since the beginning when they first launched it in 2011. And though I'm always tempted to switch to Apple because I really love using the iPad and the MacBook Pro, but I found myself not able to switch because I'm really hooked onto the stylus, or what they now call the S Pen. Therefore, when I saw this in the papers, I read it with keen interest and started to speak to people about it. This article is about the passing of Samsung's chairman and him leaving behind a huge legacy for his children, of which just on the stock assets alone will cost his children a crazy 13.6 billion in asset tax. Now, under the South Korean law, Mr. Lee Kun-hee's estate is taxed at 50% plus a 20% surcharge on stocks he held as the largest shareholder in a firm. And the remarks that I got while sharing this article with people was they can afford it, or wow, it's just nuts, right? Then I started asking myself, what about Singapore? What are the laws surrounding asset duties since the early days? And how has that changed presently? And why this should be a factor for consideration when you are building your real estate portfolio? So I'm going to share with you what I have discovered through crawling through the internet to get the necessary information. Therefore, the next part of the video, I have done my due diligence and research as much as possible. And if you intend to use this information, please verify if it is valid and accurate. And having said that, I recommend you to seek the proper authorities for updated information. Alright, let's start. The magical date, guys, is 15 February 2008. Prior to this date, the inheritance tax is payable for the total market value of movable and immovable assets in Singapore. This includes movable assets outside Singapore or tangible items such as paintings, jewelries, or vehicles held outside Singapore. Alright? At that time, the silver lining was that immovable assets such as land and buildings outside Singapore, these were not subjected to inheritance tax. And during that period before 15 February 2008, asset duties were taxed at a rate of 5% for every dollar of the first 12 million and 10% for every dollar above 12 million. But we had allowable exemptions of 9 million for residential properties and 600,000 for all other assets. This would mean that there are no taxes to be paid for residential properties below 9 million. You only pay for amounts above 9 million, right? So if you have properties, say, worth 15 million, you would then pay $300,000 of tax for the excess of 6 million, all right? But do understand that we have to take this into context of property prices at that time, okay? And from there, you will see, and if you know, this is a very small fraction of what other people in other countries are paying for inheritance tax. And therefore, the reasons why many families at that time had already started building generational wealth, because the rewards outweighs the cost amounts. And today, if you are still hesitant and unsure and have not started to even think about building your real estate portfolio, I hope that with the knowledge of what I'm going to share with you next, will get you started, alright? So let's go back to this magical day, 15 February 2008. On this day, the estate or the inheritance tax has been abolished, alright? Meaning no more tax. Which will mean that if you and your family had a share of an inheritance since 15 February 2008, there is no more tax payable on this estate. Right? Yay! Amazing, isn't it? More monies that your parents had sacrificed to save and to accumulate, right, in their lifetime, now the entire full amount enters your bank account. For you now to grow that for your children. Isn't that just fantastic? So anyway, what was then the reason for the abolishment of asset duties? The following is actually taken from the Singapore Legal Advice. I will input a link in the comment section for those of you who like to read the entire article. Alright? So apart from what you can read here, I'm going to highlight this part. In addition, the abolishment of the tax would attract high net worth individuals who who would invest and accumulate wealth in Singapore, which eventually benefits the economy and society. And you can already see this evidence of this happening since 2008. And if no one mentioned this, I personally believe that this is also one of the contributing factors, right, that has pushed the property prices up in 2009, and this will also be one of the factors that will continue to stabilize the Singapore property prices, right? Especially when now more and more Singapore families are moving towards the direction of building generational wealth. So if you haven't started on planning out your property portfolio, I urge you to give it some thought, because now it really is worth your time and effort. Alright? And I wish you make the right decision for your family. Thank you for watching. My name is Darren Ng, and I hope this information will help you in your decision making in building your property portfolio. Speak to all of you soon.